Hello, I'm Larry Johnson, a professor at Texas A&M University, and I'd like to welcome you to the Peer Program Teacher Professional Development Workshop. My chore is to talk about the overview of the Peer Program, which is basically a rural middle school STEM promotion program. PEER stands for the Partnership for Environmental Education and Rural Health and relates to an early grant that we had on environmental health science. It's a combination of veterinary students, undergraduate students, faculty, and staff to inspire the love of science STEM in rural middle school kids. The Partnership for Environmental Education and Rural Health has been funded by NIH, NSF for several years. We've been in existence for about 20 years and have raised a fair amount of money. Our current grant is a comparative, computer-based, student-centered middle school approach to One Health learning that we have. We'll have that for a couple more years. A little bit about us. The PEER program has reached 20,000 teachers and over 2 million students in 50 states. And you can see the map below. This is the counties within states from which teachers have downloaded our materials. And this is in 1 year, and this is over 9 years that we collected the data. Recently, PEER has reached 2,000 teachers a year and about 200,000 K-12 students a year. About 52% are minority that we can see. Now, the PEER interdisciplinary team is composed of scientists, including epidemiologists, Dr. Budke, physiologists, myself, educational psychologist, Dr. Ritter, neuroscientists, Dr. Clem, veterinarians, Dr. Clem and Dr. Budke, computer engineers, Dr. Walker and his student, which is our webmaster, educational special professionals, Julia Harlan, who is our project evaluator, and online curriculum delivery specialist, Dr. Ritter, and then seasoned and award-winning teachers, Michelle and Tori, that we have. So in addition to reaching throughout the United States, we also reach the world by our YouTube channel that was put together by Tori, you see here. And it has over 2,000 subscribers and a fair number of views. Our long-term goal is to have One Health, environmental health science conditions to give real-world examples to kids. So use those examples about health and disease. We also go to the rural schools because that's typically have more limited access to a variety of instructional resources and have special environmental concerns that need to be learned. The middle school emphasis is because it's a prime developmental period for gaining personal competence and interest in science. Basically, the program that I will talk to you today, the outline here, is how public schools have interacted with PEER throughout the times. And there's three basic ways. One is curriculum development. One is scientists visit schools. And then the other one is professional development that you guys are engaged in. Today, the topic of this is really One Health, which is human-animal-environment interface, is what it is. But my chore is to talk about curriculum development that was developed in these other programs, other grants that we had, to talk about the interface between the PEER program and public schools. And the first one we want to look at is veterinary science. So we had a 5-year grant to study veterinary science-related conditions. And you can see clinical trials, animal research. And we had a video that a veterinarian gave an introduction about those conditions. And we use these to match the state standard so the teacher could use it. And this was really like an overarching component of these. In this case, you can see how to use physical exam to illustrate the scientific method. And so there's lessons in through there, application of a scientific method, science investigation, the PowerPoint slide on that. And then there's application of the scientific method is basically what you're doing. A person comes to you, they're sick, you try these different things, you make a hypothesis just like you would in a scientist investigation. So there's a host of those. Also, we have a biology, environmental science, and in those, we have different groups. We have ecosystems, organ systems, cells are us, and each of these have PowerPoint slides, Google slide presentations. They have note-taking outlines, interactive pre- and post-tests on Google Forms. They have study games, activities to reinforce, and Atik's and NGSS standards are identified. Here we see cell, and this is Dr. Clem's idea of how to do things. Why does it matter? Why does a kid need to learn that? Is what they want. How do we know? How do you know things? And a little bit of story talking about a biographic of a scientist and hazards. So this is cell, and the cells are us one, levels of organization, the gateway, and they have electronic cards for kids to be able to quiz themselves on their information. So basically you have games, interactive quizzes, note-taking guides with keys for the teachers. There's also a science biograph, famous scientists, and also hazards to the world. So in addition to that, we have the integrated curriculum that integrates math, science, English, and social studies that we have. And this is for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that we can see. And so if you look at these, you have science, math, English, and social studies. This is talking about the half-life of these things. And each of these are around an adventure story. So there's a story that the kids read, and that's part of the English, is a story that they read, and they have to know who traveled, what did they find, the different details about that with the reading assignment that they have. Half-life, a mystery about designing experiments, transmission of disease, how did they go? And this is a kiss of assassin is the name of it, has to do with Chagas disease. How does carbon, it's talking about carbon dating, how does carbon get into plants? And then how do they become radioactive so you'll be able to detect them later on. Also, these have stand-alone lessons in addition to hoping that you do them all in an integrated form. And here we can see math, volume calculations, and metric multiplication factors, different things that you have. English, adjective, verb, business letter, how to write a business letter, how to use descriptive writing, how to conduct interviews, and persuasive essays. And maybe these would be useful to students with English as a second language that you have. So in addition to that, we have a teacher requested resource where teachers actually made a request. So we responded to them. So a teacher made a request, and then it went to our undergraduate to kind of come up with a lesson plan or answer to that. Then it goes to faculty to teachers and cleared with teachers, and it goes on the website. And you see there we have about 640 lessons and activities that are there. So what you need to do is search for a topic, like say cell. Punch in cell right here, and you see that there are chemistry links about them, the lesson plans about chemistry links. Also, there's mitosis and meiosis, all under cell search. Cell bingo could be there. And then also under cell is physical science. So there's physical science, forces and motions related to the cell itself. Punch in another word, atom, and you can get things. Here is the periodic table that we might have, that we have. So in addition to that, we have the Atik Saline lessons, and that is where we took various ones of these and for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, went through all the standards. I'm not sure we have them all now, but we did at that time. All the standards have a lesson, and these, you can click on these and go to the lesson that's associated with them for the 6th, 7th, 8th grade. We also have videos, and in the videos we have all kinds of things. We have Animal Body Explained, how-to activities, veterinary presentations, video conferences, and interviews. We interview vet students, veterinarians, undergraduate students, a host of things. And this one is actually the video conferences, Science in You, Bugs in Your Blood, Healthy Pet, Healthy You, and How to Get into Vet School, and My Path to Getting into Vet School, and The Cat's Out of the Bag. It's another one. Or scientist interviews, what makes a scientist tick, and then interviews with veterinary students. Why did they choose veterinary medicine? How did they decide what part of veterinary medicine to be involved with? Then undergraduates. These are students that are planning to go to med school. This guy's in pharmacy school. This one's in a vet school. She's already finished medical school. This guy's in medical school. So they talk about strategies for studying, for accomplishing grades in college, and how to plan for college. Especially this one right here is very good on that. Then we also have teacher resources. One of those is the lessons on fetal pig dissection. And if you click on that, it will go actually to the teacher requested resources, showing you the fetal pigs dissection and the gross images therein. But in addition to the gross images, it also has the histology slides of the tissue. Like there's a small intestine, and this is a histology image of the small intestine. In addition to that, you can hit the hyperlink right here, and it will go to the image that we see. And so here we can see the image of the small intestine. You can change the magnification right here if you want to, move it up and down if you want to, or just scroll around and you can see these are the intestinal villi that project into the small intestine, and you can see individual cells in here. So you can see the cells here. These are the pennant cells with these granules here that kill bacteria that gets trapped in these glands, and then these are other cells that produce endocrine hormones to stimulate interaction with different parts of the GI tract that we can see. So you can see the histology as well as the gross images that we can see. Another one where there's more histology images are the histology resources, and you can click right there and it will go to this histology resource page. Don't know anything much about histology, you might want to use the medical school histology basics, and we have the PDF and a PowerPoint, so you can download those PDFs or a PowerPoint for any of the tissues of the body. So you have all the tissues of the body. In addition to those, on my YouTube channel, BS Histology, you see there's got 14,000 subscribers, over 1 million views. If you come to the playlist, this one right here, the Medical School Histology Basics, is a video matching these PowerPoint slides. Our second interface with public school has been the scientist visits, and here we can see where scientists visited different places throughout Texas, from east to west and all around. Over 5 years, 37,000 kids. And mostly our target middle school, but you go to these schools and they run all the kids in there. These look like second graders to me. And so I had to talk to different levels of kids. So you go out and visit schools, different places, talk about the respiratory system and smoking, and talk about your turbinates that you have and how you clean the air going into your lungs. So we have these video conferences. There's a lot of video conferences. Veterinary Science in You, Bugs in Your Blood. The vet can name it. Protecting the human herd. Scientist visits expose students to the world of research and the life of the scientist. Investigation includes critical thinking that you can see. You can see these kids here are not upset by old men talking. They are interested in going to college. These are 8th graders. Science has adventure, get a chance to travel, or you could work in industry, government, medicine, and also a satisfactory job. And here's some places that I've traveled. This is Hawaii. This is Mount Fuji, Japan. This is Holland, Ireland, Rio de Janeiro. This is Stockholm, Sweden, Paris, of course. And scientists have characteristics. They're curious, wonder how it works, want to figure out how it works. Also have stamina. Now, what is stamina? Stamina is when you put it on. And it's more important to put it on at the end than the beginning. A lot more people start the Boston Marathon and finish. It's more fruitful to put it on at the end. What is stamina? You finished your math test, you got 5 more minutes before the bell rings. You go over it again. That's what stamina is. Okay, same thing your teacher told you. And so student impact, a bunch of students said they learned something useful and they changed the way they thought about their environment. The third way that we interface is professional development. That's what you guys are involved with now. And we hope to have face-to-face instruction and learning soon. At one year, 2007, we had workshops, different places in Texas, several in College Station in San Antonio. And we had 166 teachers that attend 9 workshops. And they interacted with 423 teachers and 7,000 kids. Today, our presentation is really on the new NIH grant, which is a computer-based, student-centered middle school approach to learning. It's our website up here, and we'll talk about One Health, which is animal, human, and the environment interface. There's 3 ways you can access these curriculum materials. One is our learning management system, our LMS, and we hope you're going to register, log in if you've already registered for it, to be able to use it, to access it that way. Another way to see it is by our viewer. You can view it, you can see the package without the management or any feedback. LMS will give you feedback, but this one will not give you any feedback, but it will allow you to look at the different modules, cell biology, ecology, clinical trials. This is the cell biology module, and you see it's got a pretest, it's got essential knowledge and skills, it's got Backpack Adventures, which is a adventure story that sets this up. And Meet the Scientist, practice, real scientist reviews, scientist videos, different components that we have with same type thing is there for the infectious disease. So you can use a dashboard to obtain these various components in there by this viewer. In addition to the viewer, we have a conventional website. You can see individual parts without the management or feedback system. And so it would have an overview of this particular lesson on ecology, and then essential knowledge and skills for the different components of it. So in summary, peer interacts with the public schools. They interface through curriculum development or through sciences visit the classroom and professional development. When all goes wrong, my experiments don't work, my submitted publications are rejected, my grant application is not funded, my teaching is not appreciated in the department, my raises is not equal to what I deserve, I reach down in my lower drawer and pull out something I've received from 2nd graders. Who knows what it could be? You're right. Thank you, notes. Who do you think this is right here? So I went in there in the classroom with a big bunch of lungs. And they were different sizes as this kid had drawn. And I kept pulling out yet bigger lung. And finally, when I got to the horse lung, I said, who's going to help me pull out the granddaddy lung? Every hand in the room was up to help me pull out that lung. So this was a little girl named Brooke that wrote me a note. Thanks for coming to class. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed learning about animal lungs. I have never in my life seen animal lungs. Now this is a 2nd grader. She hadn't had much of a life. I've been waiting for you to come ever since my teacher said you're going to come. I had the most fun with that oxygen thing. It was a spirometer that measures your lung capacity. Thank you for coming. And I want to thank you for coming to our workshop and participating in the workshop, and we look forward to your feedback. So thank you, and welcome to Texas A&M Teacher Professional Development Workshop.